Hey, good morning, everybody. It's June, I think it's the 19th today. I'm down in our shop, just kind of poking along, getting stuff ready to go. Got one of our cutters pulled in here. This, basically, I think all this one needed was a little bit of reel work. See on several of the tine bars, this metal bushing is worn through. And I think there's about 4 of those I got to replace, but it's kind of a pain in the butt on these ones because you got to pull the whole tine bar out. This cam arm here is stationary, so in order to change this bushing here, you have to take every single tooth off of that entire tine bar to get to one bushing. And I see I got a broken tooth here, so I'm going to wind up taking pretty much everything off of this one. I got a couple reel bats I need to change. See, this one's got a kink in it. I think there's another one here that had a pretty bad kink in it from a wreck I had last year. Yeah, it might be this one here. I think it does. I think it actually kinks that way. Pretty tough to straighten them up once you get a bend in them that way. And then when I was finishing up the second cutting last year, I broke a header spring. And as it sat over the winter, apparently another one broke. So I gotta take that spring bundle out of there, which is a lot of fun. And get a couple springs for it. To do that, there's a big bolt back here. You gotta pull that out. And the way they built these with the original bolt in there, once you let that tension off and you let them springs go, it's hard to get the spring pack pulled back up and get a thread caught here. So usually what I wind up doing is getting a threaded piece of ready rod, like here, weld the nut to it. Just to add a little bit more length where you don't have to get pry bars and jacks and come-alongs in there in order to get that spring pack pulled up to where you can catch a thread and start pulling it back in. So that's what's going on that one. Over here, the Vermeer baler, as far as I know, the only thing I noticed when I put it away last summer was PTO shaft was getting quite a bit of slop in it, getting a little vibration, so we'll probably wind up pulling that off and either getting it rebuilt. It seems like getting one rebuilt or just getting a whole new shaft is about the same price anymore, seems like, so we'll probably just yank that off and put a new shaft on it. I had a 4040 at my place that I cleaned up the other day and found a fuel line that was leaking, so I need to send that off and get it welded. I'm not handy enough to weld steel fuel lines, I just burn holes in them. This 7200, basically all it needs is cleaned up and serviced. It's pretty dirty over winter, and all of them get that way. That's just usage. I mean, you're not going to take time to pull one into a heated shop and wash it off in the winter. You're just going to keep going with it. So one thing that's nice about these 7000 series is you pull these 2 bolts here, and this front cooler, I think that's your oil and your AC cooler, swings away where you can get that crap that builds up in between there. This one was actually about a third of the way built up with stuff, and this tractor didn't even feed ground hay last year. So yeah, we'll get a bath for it. Always go through and scrub out the interior and wipe things down. It's nice to sit in a clean one if you're going to spend that much time in one. It's nice to be in a clean one. I just finished up this 7200 out here yesterday. It's been sitting in the shop, not in use for probably 2 months. And during that time period, I had a mouse move into it, of course, and it was nasty. Had a pretty bad smell in there. I wound up taking the seat out, taking all the side panels off in order to find all the nests and all the poop trails that they leave. And I wiped everything down and disinfected. Got the floor all scrubbed up. So maybe, and I didn't see any recent sign of mice, so I think they've probably moved on. And I don't see any fresh poop this morning, so I think we probably got them. But This is the tractor that I cut with, so I spend 4 or 5 hours a day in here, and I don't want to be smelling mice. But we got it all cleaned up. This is a tractor that fed ground hay all winter, and that's probably the dirtiest job that our tractors do, is feeding that ground hay, because it just gets everywhere. Like in between the coolers I was just showing you on that one, it was probably halfway full of stuff, and then the radiator and the front cooler were just jam-packed. So get that blowed out. Got all the filters blown out. This one's ready to go, except for I don't have a oil filter for it. I need to pick that up and drop the oil on it, and it'll be ready. Let's see, I don't know if you can see, but we have our green baler is up there. The tractor that pulls it is actually in the shop right now getting some steering work done. Kept pushing a seal out in that front steering sector, so they're gonna dig into that, and I think they're gonna rebuild the SCVs in the back, because it was starting to, well, not starting to, it's been that way for years, but it's starting to drift quite a bit. You have to keep pulling your lever back to keep your tailgate closed on your hay baler. But we got some rain yesterday, so it's a little bit wet to do anything else, so I guess I'm gonna do a little shop work today and get ready. I don't know exactly when we're gonna start haying. It's been cool enough and we got a little shot of moisture, so the hay is still growing. So we might go ahead and let it grow for a while, I'm not sure. But until it starts getting hot, that's kind of the plan. Well, just a little update. Talk to you guys later.